morning, Facebook world. It's Char. Today's Friday. Ready for the weekend. Got a lot of business going on, so it's going to be a great weekend. I want to share another story with you. This doesn't surprise you. When my children were young, and anybody who has children, or if you're around children, if you know children, you know, part of getting them to do what you want is to present things so that they always feel like they have a choice. And that I never wanted to be a mom that was a dictator type mom that threw it down their throats, that I always wanted to give them choices. And so from a very, very young age, from when they got their very first bicycle, you know, I had explained to them that, you know, having a bicycle or riding a bicycle is a choice, and with that choice there comes responsibilities. And for instance, for a bicycle, the responsibility is that you have to wear a helmet and that you have to put the bike in the garage. And that if you don't like those responsibilities, you just don't ride a bike. And that's their choice. But if you want to ride it, then you have to honor the responsibilities that come with that. And as they grew up, it became quite handy to be able to use that frame of mind. For instance, when they wanted to drive, that was so stress time right there. When they wanted to start driving, the responsibilities that came with driving is that they would not, that they would wear a seatbelt, that they had to pay for their gas, that they had to, they couldn't be texting while they're driving. And if they didn't like those rules, that's fine. They didn't have to follow them. They just didn't have to drive. That was their choice. The same thing happened when they got a few years older and or when they had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, because you don't have to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but if you do, there are responsibilities that come with it, that you have to be honest, that you can't lie, and that, you know, you have to, you can't talk to other people if you're with this person the way that you would talk to this person. And so it's been something that has allowed me to empower very strong children who have been able, they knew from a very young age that they could make choices and that they would be in charge of who they allowed in their life and where they went, and they would also face the consequences if they did not live up to the responsibilities that came with those choices. Now, at the same time, I would share with them, and this is all a reflection of my own life looking back, and maybe wishing that somebody had said something at a certain time, or because somebody did, this is the knowledge I gathered from it. Well, at the same time, I would always tell them that, you know, in our lives, each of our lives, every person that you come across, our lives are our book, and we each have our own book, and there's chapters, and there's people who are going to be in your book from beginning to end. Your mom and dad are some of them, family members are typically some of them, and then there are some people who just come in for chapters, and then there's some people who come in at a certain chapter and they're there for the rest of the book, and it's wonderful and fantastic. And that sometimes in our lives we get to meet some people whose names go in our book in pencil, and we get fortunate enough to be able to go back and kind of erase it out or edit it out, and they don't really come back into play anywhere in this book. And there are some other people, however, whose names go in your book in ink, and you can't remove those people from your book, and it could be for the good or for the bad, but you can't remove those names. And to make sure that if somebody's name was in their book in ink, that they needed to make sure that they were in that person's book in ink also. Because when they're in ink, there's a different level of importance or impact in their story. And don't give someone the right to be in your book in ink when you're only in pencil in theirs. Because I know somebody who was very significant at a younger age to me in my life that was in my book in ink. If you were to go back and mention my name to them, they probably would not even remember me today. And so making sure that when somebody's book name is in your book in ink, that you go back and be in theirs. And this has been really great advice, simple advice that my children have been able to understand, and for the most part, I have been able to follow, to read through where people get placed in my life. And you know, if somebody's name is in your book in pencil, you don't need to sweat that. You don't need to sweat that. You don't need to sweat them. You just need to turn that pencil over, because the other end of a pencil is what? An eraser. Get them out of your book. So you guys, I hope that you're having a fantastic weekend. I hope that you guys have a chance to make some memories with some people who are in your book in ink, and that maybe you can gain some inside knowledge that will be able to help you go on and mentor and help the other people around you because we all need to be encouraging each other and helping each other, and hope that you have a great weekend. Thanks.